Same thing here with this situation is, you know, you want to trigger in on the places on the points first, and this will be long stretches of this kind of stuff. And when I say long stretches, I'm talking 100, 200-yard stretches. People go, well, where do you start? Well, you start flipping, same thing. You flip the points, you flip back 3 feet, you flip back 3 feet. But you'll find a pattern on banks like this, because it might be 0 feet there, it might be 3 feet there, it might be 5 feet there, it might be 8 feet there. But once you find a pattern of you flipping and you catch a fish here, and you go down and you flip this and you flip that back there, and then all of a sudden you catch another fish there, then you'll know a pattern of, I only need to flip 3 feet in. And then you can get on those stretches and flip 3 feet in all the way down that stretch and not have to spend a whole lot of time. The great part about when you're punching and dropping bombs on these fish, it's a triggering action that you don't have to sit there and pitch it in there and go, one's gonna eat it at some point, one's gonna bite it. No, it's gonna be, drop it in there, hits the bottom, hop it twice, hits the bottom again. If he doesn't eat it, wind it back up. And so that's, once again, the 7-3-1 high-speed reel goes for, you make the pitch, goes down, hits the bottom, hop, hop, reel it back up, make the next pitch, goes down, hop, hop, and you get to cover lots of water. I actually fished a tournament on the California Delta in a Everstart and a National Guard, and I won one by 13 pounds and I won another one by 11 pounds. And the one that I won by 11 pounds, I was catching 50 a day punching. Guys out there, half the field didn't even have limits both days, and I'm catching 50 a day. And it wasn't the area that I had. I could go anywhere and do this. It's the amount of water that I got to cover. I love dropping bombs on them because it allows me to be a search bait as well as a big fish technique and a lot of fish technique. Because the one thing about these fish that are underneath this stuff and underneath these mats, they don't see baits. I mean, the average fisherman drives right by it and goes, oh, that's too thick, and they're gonna pass it up. They don't wanna have to deal with it. While guys like me look at it and go, dude, there's fish. That's where they're gonna be. And you flip in there and all of a sudden you catch the biggest fish in the lake. Well, one thing about it was you're gonna rig a Texas rig, is when you do this. So when you rig a Texas rig, I don't ever pull the actual hook all the way out of the bait. I actually leave it in the bait. And so when you've got braid, you've got that big rod, all you gotta do is lean and that hook's gonna pull. And that's what the cavitation of that hook, when you tie the snail hook on that straight shank hook, it's gonna pull right through and you're gonna peg them. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna clamp down on it, and as you're pulling it, they're gonna clamp down even harder on it. So when that hook penetrates, all it is he's getting hooked in the roof of the head. And so you can just pull them out.
But their line is going all the way across the bed.
Oh, that line, the braid will pull right through that stuff.
And it won't just rip everything out.
It won't rip everything out, because what you'll do is you'll pitch it in there, and that's another thing with the 8-foot rod, you're almost above it, so you pitch it in there and you just pull it out. Now if you try to drag it that way, yes, you're gonna drag the mat. So you always wanna, when you pitch it in there, you always keep your rod high and just reel it and pull it straight up out of there. And just hop it and shake it a little bit, it comes right out, especially when you Texas rig it. Don't leave an open hook in there, because yes, you will rip all of that. The great part about all this stuff is in between this stuff is just little stems, and once it gets through the top of those leaves, it's pretty open underneath, and it just slides right on through.
Do you use the 7.5-foot frog tip?
The question about the frog we'll get to later in my next seminar.
How fast are you moving on your boat?
How fast am I moving? I'm making, like I said, I'm making 3-foot flips and just going. Like I've got a constant speed. I keep my trolling motor, I run a 109 Tour Edition trolling motor on about 4 or 5, and I'm just going. And I mean, like I said, I'll make a pitch, hop, hop, reel it up, next pitch, hop, hop, reel it up, next pitch, hop, hop, reel it up. Unless it's a mat that I'm working my way back into. Because that right there is an isolated mat, and so you're not really sure where the fish are gonna be. But then when you get into stretches like this, you could have, like I said, a 1/4 mile stretch that looks exactly the same like that. The grass grows out, you have a grass line, and you got to figure out where the fish are. So you fish everything in the beginning until you get a couple of bites, and I guarantee that you will see a pattern that they're either going to be, all the fish are going to be back here, all the fish are going to be out here, or all the fish are going to be in the middle.
And the information Bass University provides isn't your basic run-of-the-mill fishing video. This is specific information from A to Z to help you learn, get to the water, and become a better angler quickly.